Welcome to a new season of Sports Overtime. I am your host, Nader Murphic, and man, it is refreshing to be back in the building with Sports Overtime, guys. Man, last year took a little break, man, had a new baby and things like that. So, listen, man, I'm just glad to be back on with you guys and glad to be back in the building with Soul Saint. But speaking of Soul Saint, let's do this, man. Let's bring on my co-host. Y'all see him all over the Superdome with the boxing gloves on TV, on music videos, all over the place, man. So y'all give a big shout out to my co-host, Mr. Soul Saint. What's going on, Soul?
What's up, man? What's up, bro? Glad to be back. Hey, sports overtime, man. It wasn't gonna keep us down long. We
Nah,
back.
we back, man. We back.
We back.
We are back, man. So, man, it's obviously that time of the year. So, Saints training camp is in full effect. It is not in New Orleans this year. It is in California. So, when it's in New Orleans, me and Sola at the practices. When it's in California, it's just kind of a little tougher, especially with working and stuff like that. But
Right.
but listen, man, it's that time of the year, man. I'm super excited. We got football in the house. Football. They got 2 games on tonight, preseason. You got fantasy football drafts around the corner. So it's just exciting, man. And I want to say this before we do get started. So shout out to everybody that I seen when I walked around the city, or if you see me downtown or anywhere in New Orleans. Bro, the one thing that people would tell me, Soul, is, man, Nader, bro, when you and Soul coming back? When y'all coming back with the show, bro? We need you. We need you. We need you. I was standing in a line for some tacos. I went to this taco place in Gretna, and one of the guys who watches our show, he walked up to me. He's like, man, you don't know who I am, but I know who you are. And he's like, man, I need y'all and Soul to be back on, bro. We miss you, man. We missed you last year. So listen, man, we missed y'all too. We back in the building. And man, we about to jump right into it, man. Shout out to everybody that's on the chat right now. Vince, big up. Jerry, missed y'all, man. Zach, what's going on from Orlando? Jerry G,
What's
Bianca,
up, Zach?
Kenny, what's going on, man? So let's jump right into it. So I'm excited to have everybody
Hey,
back,
man.
man. I haven't seen y'all faces in a long time, y'all comments in a long time. So I'm definitely excited. I'm amped up tonight, but man, let's kick it off with some good news, man. Today is obviously Thursday, and the Saints announced a signing today. They have re-signed or added an extension to linebacker Pete Werner. They signed him to a 3-year extension today for more than $25 million. 17 and a half of that is guaranteed. So I definitely like the move, but what's your take on it, So?
Well, Pete Werner. First couple of years, he has been oft injured,
Mm-hmm.
often injured.
Mm-hmm.
They must see something good in this guy. We've seen glimpses of Pete Werner. And I'm just thinking about the three of those guys on the field at the same time, and
Yeah.
the other two.
Yeah.
One's a Super Bowl champ and one's a veteran that's been here. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? But hey, if he stays healthy, I'm sure Pete Werner could be that guy that they want him to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I'm excited too.
And Dennis Allen was asked about it today. He didn't even know the Saints re-signed him while he was at his press conference because he was at practice. But he said, we were looking for a lot out of him this training camp. He has brought the intensity and what he needs to bring and show us to give him the extension. But you also got to look at it from a future standpoint. So right, you got Demario Davis, who's getting a little older, so they want to have that cornerstone piece for the future at linebacker. And one of the things, Sol, and you can attest to this, you've been watching the Saints way longer than me. Outside of the Dome Patrol, it's been so hard for us to get a linebacking core that was solid, from just a 1-2 standpoint or even a 1-2-3 standpoint like we have now. But to have a cornerstone guy like Pete Werner, mixed with Willie Gay and obviously with Demario right now, I think it was just a good move to lock him in right now because, as you know, the price of things continues to go up. Inflation is real. So, and lock them in now. That way, when these other linebackers get paid, you're not sitting here saying, "Oh my God, we got to pay him 40 million when you giving them 25." You know, so
I know these dudes will probably never be the Dawn Patrol, but hey,
sure.
they can settle for Dawn Patrol Juniors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know,
And the thing about it is, I just feel like overall as a linebacking core, bringing in Willie Gay, having that
yeah,
Super Bowl experience, he's going to be able to help these guys in a locker room and different
fast. He's
situations.
fast.
He's fast, man. And the one thing about him is that he had an interview with NFL Network last week, and they asked him what was the main reason why you signed with the Saints, and he was like, my main reason in signing with the Saints is two things. One, Dennis Allen's defense has always been top notch, but two, I'm a 3-down linebacker in this defense. When he was with Kansas City, they would put him out maybe once or twice on defense and then get him off the field. But in this defense, he can play 3 downs. So that was the biggest reason why he wanted to come play for the Saints. So that's huge. That's huge, and also too, looking at it from the standpoint of, let's say DeMario does get hurt, God forbid, then you got Pete Werner and Willie Gay in there. So it's not like, you're frustrated or you're panicking and you're saying, oh man, what we going to do at linebacker? Well, guess what? We got people. So that's always a good feeling to have, especially, because obviously injuries are a part of the game. So they're definitely going to come about here and there, but to have depth at that position is huge. It's huge,
That's a
huge,
plus.
huge.
That's huge. Yeah, it is.
Now,
This gotta stay healthy, man. That's my
right.
thing.
And that's the one thing right now that is the main concern for me, for the team soul, is the injuries, right? Because when you look at it right now from a training camp standpoint, you got Marshawn Lattimore, who isn't practicing, Paulson Adebo, Hugo Amadi, Demario Davis, Pete Werner as well. And then the receivers, man, is kind of light right now. Rashid Shaheed is being held out for precautionary measures. You got St. Brown's brother, who has a hamstring issue. Bub Means, another wide receiver with a shin issue. Kendre Miller not practicing with the hamstring. You got Nick Salavadiri, the calf injury on O-line. I mean, there's just a bunch of stuff, man. They got a bunch of injuries going into the season. It's really it's very concerning. I'm not gonna lie. It is a very long list, and it is very concerning. So hopefully, man, you guys start to ramp it up closer to the season,
Yeah.
Now, one thing I do want to talk about is the talk of the town right now. The news was broken a couple of days ago that saying that the Saints were interested in veteran safety Justin Simmons from the formerly of the Denver Broncos. This guy, oh my God. I mean, in 5 years, I think 6 years, he's had 30 interceptions.
It's ridiculous.
Crazy, bro. I watched his highlights last night on YouTube, 20 minutes of his highlights. It's just amazing how many interceptions this dude was. He's a ball hawk. He's definitely a ball hawk. But he came to California yesterday, visited with the Saints. They took him out to dinner. The coaches and the players took him out to dinner. And, right now it's just a wait and see game. It was reported by Nick Underhill earlier today that, the reason why
the Honey Badger was talking to him too.
Yeah, absolutely. But Nick Underhill was saying today that there's a disconnect right now in the sense that the Saints want to sign him on a short-term deal. He wants to get a 2 or 3 year term deal. So that's kind of the disconnect right now between them. But the one thing I will say is, looking at it from a positive standpoint, so you got to understand, when free agency kicked off, people were like, oh my God, he's the top safety available. He's gonna want 15-16 million dollars. Then obviously, his stock went all the way down based on just free agency, the draft, and teams getting different players at that position and filling their needs, feeling like they don't have to go out there and spend that type of money. So yesterday, Dennis Allen was asked about him at training camp, and they were like, well, we've been in contact with him since before the draft, and his number was just too high. Now we feel like we can we're almost close to the number that we want to reach. So that's a good thing. And I will say this, a lot of people are panicking and saying, oh man, I don't know if he's going to come to us. He might go to the Colts. He might go to the Eagles. He hasn't visited with either of those teams. But when you look at it, we're the only team that he has visited so far. They took him out to dinner last night. They're close to the number. That Honey Badger was there trying to pitch him to sign with us as well. And then when you put him and the Honey Badger together, so it's going to be crazy. It's going to be nuts to have those two back there. And then just for him, just if the Saints are to sign him, so to have Justin Simmons and Honey Badger and Adebo and Lattimore and Alante Taylor just in that secondary with Howden.
And Kool-Aid.
Yeah, and with Kool-Aid and with Howden and with all of these guys. I mean, you're looking at a secondary that's going to be top 10 for sure. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And not only that, but usually when you say top 10 secondary, they're like, okay, they play real good. The pass rush is getting there. They're getting some interceptions here and there. But, man, these dudes is ball hawks. You got Tyrann Mathieu, who's a ball hawk. You got Justin Simmons as a ball hawk. Lattimore be catching interceptions off his ass. And so, like, you got players that can really, get the ball back to the offense. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited about it. Hopefully they're able to come to terms. But
what's up, Aaron?
The cool thing about it, Soul, is when was the last time that me and you have ever got on a show and said the Saints have over $14 million in cap space?
Cap space, right?
I mean, come on.
That feels good.
It's been a minute. It's been a minute for us to say that. So they do have the money to sign him. They'll add like an extra, fake year on the back end if they want to sign him. But I think for us, man, for us to make that move and us to be in that realm of almost getting there, I think it's a good thing. I think it'll fall in line to what we need, and hopefully they come to terms, because it always comes down to the money, man. It really does. Always comes down to the money.
Yeah. So, what's up, Hakeem? Hakeem, Saints was #1 against the pass last season. With Lattimore missing 9 games. So imagine, I guess that's why they thought maybe he might be expendable. We was thinking that he was going to get traded, because it was like, hey, look, we still on top, absolutely. And Lattimore's out.
But the thing is, too, so you're right, but also, too, man, he's such a veteran presence. He's such a veteran presence, man. He holds his own. He holds that side of the field down. And, when you look at it, man, like, I think it's better to have him on the team than to not, because let's say he went somewhere else and they traded him. Yeah, okay, we got Alante Taylor and Adebo. Adebo is up for a contract extension next year. So, and you still got Kool-Aid now. So would you go with Kool-Aid and Adebo moving forward, or Kool-Aid, or even Adebo and Alante Taylor? I feel like Alante Taylor is going to be the guy to man down the slot. That's his new position. And Dennis Allen said he's been playing way better than he did last year at the slot position in camp. So, listen, just having him, he's a ball hog too. I love his swag. Yeah. If you wear #1, you definitely got to bring that energy and bring that swag to the team. And he definitely does that as the nickelback right now. So hopefully they're able to sign Justin Simmons.
Hey, Nathan, you can't never have too many good players.
For sure.
Especially great players like Lattimore, So for sure. I'm real excited about that. If they sign Justin Simmons, that's a plus. We moving in the right directions on defense.
Absolutely. And one thing that, I do want to talk about that's very exciting for me. So I haven't been able to be on in a minute. So just to talk about this in general is just fun for me. But, man, how exciting is it to be out with the old and in with the new, right? Fresh start on offense. How long have we been talking about that? How long have we been earning for that? Because I'm going to be honest with you, man. That Pete Carmichael offense, it got played out after a while. People knew exactly what we were about to do. When Taysom is in the game, he's getting the ball, he's getting 2-3 yards. You just knew what was going to happen. So now coming in, and you got Clint Kubiak, new offensive coordinator, bringing that different type of offense to this team, that San Francisco 49er type of offense to this team. the sky's the limit. So, and one thing I will say about his offense and just the Saints in general, the Saints have always struggled against the 49ers offense. They have always struggled.
Yeah.
So now,
oh, Steve Young, Joe Montana days.
right.
Yeah.
So now when you have a guy that brings that type of offense to this team, right? Now you got that defense going against that offense every single day in practice. Every day they're getting better. They're finding out what tendencies they're trying to do and where they're trying to put the ball at. And so for him to come and bring that offense to this team, and not only bring that offense to this team, but also bring that offense to this team that has weapons. So because you got players like Rashid Shaheed who can get downfield. You got obviously Chris Olave, who's he's bound to go off this year if Derek Carr could get him the ball. You got guys they signed. They just signed Puka Nakua's brother. They're trying to add some players here and there, but the Cedric Wilsons and all of these guys who were in that type of offense with Miami as well, you got them coming in. With Kamara coming out the backfield and him getting the touches that he needs to get and the passes that he needs to convert on, man, I'm excited about this offense.
I'm excited too. I'm excited, man. And then there was a lot of studs that came in. We got a undrafted guy that came in that's
Mason
like been
Tipton.
a talker camp. You know who I'm talking about?
Mason Tipton.
Yeah, Mason Tipton, man. 4'3" guy out of what, Yale?
Yep.
Smart dude. They say he's the talk of camp. I think he's injured right now. He has an injury. But I wanted to see this dude Saturday night. I wanted to see him. I don't know how much of the starters they're gonna play or whatever. I guess we'll talk about that. But he's one guy I wanted to see. I'm a wide receiver guy. So, I love the wide receiver position.
Yeah. And you're right. And then just this we'll talk about the preseason game and what we're looking forward to later on. But you're right, man. He's been going off on camp. Samson Nakua, which is Puka Nakua's brother, he's been going crazy. He had another touchdown today in camp. And Cedric Wilson went off yesterday. So I mean, I'm excited just to see I'm excited to see not only just the players, the different players on the team, but I'm excited to see the different offense that we're going to be running.
Right.
Because I think, from a fan standpoint, we don't know what to expect anymore. Right. We don't usually, when you go in, you're like, all right, they're going to do their little thing, throw a couple passes downfield, see if they could get something and then take those players off the field and let the third and fourth string come in. But now you go into this game on Saturday against the Cardinals, which is the first preseason game, and you're like, man, I don't know what they got planned on offense. I don't know who's about to go off. And I feel like from a fan standpoint, that's exciting because you can't really say who's going to go off and who's not. I mean, Puka's brother could go off. Cedric Wilson can go off. You got all of these other players that could go off. So I don't know, man. I'm amped up about this offense. I really am. I feel like we needed a fresh start. And when you in an offense for 17, 18 years, that's a long time, man.
Yes,
it's
it is.
Long time. It's
yes,
a long
it
time.
is. And I'm so happy. Another thing I'm happy about, I'm happy to see Alvin Kamara in camp, and I'm looking for him. He's had a couple of down years, and I'm looking for him to just go off this year, healthy. Go off, knock on wood, he stays healthy. But I'm looking for him to have a great season also in this new offense.
Yeah, for sure.
People didn't think he wanted to be here. He walked out of minicamp because they couldn't get a contract. I heard they have something on the table, but he wants to be there. I have a video if you want to see it right quick of Alvin Kamara letting the world know, hey, he wants to retire a Saint. You want to see that?
Yeah, pull it up.
Let's check it out.
I ain't stupid. I ain't gonna get the money up. I'm trying to get some money, right? So, I was gonna be here. I mean, it's no one that has a jersey on. It's nobody. Not even. I wouldn't even blame any coaches. What's going on with contract issues right now, right? Like, I mean, this happens all across the league. It's happened here. It's happened everywhere, right? You know, people trying to get contracts, trying to get paid, and I'll be a fool to spite my teammates because of a dispute I'm having with upstairs, or I wouldn't even call it a dispute. We're just having conversations about compensation. So, man, I was gonna be here. I mean, shit. Derek saw me and he was surprised, but you know, it's not like I was telling everybody like I'm gonna be here. But man, I'm not that guy. Like I'm for the team. So I'm here. I'm doing what I got to do. I'm working. I ain't stupid. You know, I think I've always told y'all I want to be a Saint for a long time, for as long as my career goes. And that's really all I'm looking for, really. I mean, you know, some people will say the money don't matter. The money does matter, but in the grand scheme of things, I made a lot of money, and I do well off the field also. So there's kind of like a feel of like, okay, well, you know, I wanted to be fair, but at the same time, I'm not chasing nothing. You know what I'm saying? As far as money goes, I'm not chasing nothing that's outlandish or that's like off-putting. That should be off-putting. So I don't know. I'm just doing my duty. You know, I've voiced.
Kendre's got a hamstring. Look, that.
Yeah, he talking about Kendre with them injuries, man.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm not going to lie to you. So, number one, man, just call it what it is, right? Kamara's a team player, man. Like, he just wants the team to do good. But also, too, man, when you want the team to do good, you also gotta make sure that you're taken care of as well, right? And so what he's expecting isn't nothing crazy. Like, you know, he just wants to make sure he's still getting paid his bread. Now, you're right.
What's up,
you're
right. Sign man?
Now, you're right. So he has had, you know, some down years. So, you know, that the negotiation, when you're negotiating with somebody and you've had a couple of down years, right? That kind of, you know, that kind of brings that money down a little bit. But then also too, so you got your backup running back who stays hurt. So now you're going to definitely need Kamara. So then his money needs to be a little bit added, a little bit more, you know, because now you got your backup running back who you thought was going to come in and help take over some of those carries. He's been injured. So now you're going to have to pay. You're going to have to pay Kamara. You got to give him what he's due and what he's worth. And as long as it's fair from both sides of the spectrum, listen, we love Kamara. We'll love to have him for the rest of his career as a Saint. And I mean, he's just a beast, man. He brought so much to this team, this organization, when he got signed, when he got drafted, I mean, and, you know, to him to get the contract extension and him to bring that swag and him and Mark Ingram doing the airheads thing and just all kind of stuff. Like, listen, man, he's been a staple with this franchise, and we want to make sure that we treat those type of players right.
That's right.
Absolutely. So
take care of that man.
Yeah, man, you got to take care of him. Now, one thing I do want to talk about, another thing that I'm excited about this year. So I heard you and the boys talking about it on Tell It Like It Is, but I got to put my input on this because, man, I feel like this was kind of the steal of free agency for me, man. You know, a lot of teams didn't want to take a chance on this guy. They were finding out about his neck before everything, you know, before the signing period. And they didn't want to take a chance on him. Obviously, he got drafted by Washington, went to the 49ers, and didn't do as well with the 49ers as they thought he was going to do. Right. But, again, he seemed like he was hurt. So the guy I'm talking about is Chase Young, man. This guy has been going crazy in training camp. When I tell you he has been making our offensive linemen look silly, it is nuts, you know, like today in itself. So he got 3 sacks on Trevor Penning today, just today. So imagine what he's been doing in training camp. This guy is definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with on that D-line. The D-line in itself is just going to be crazy. They got Cam Jordan rushing from the inside more than the outside and just bouncing back.
You got him doing situational stuff, you know.
Right. You got Colin Sanders. You still got all these other guys, Peyton Turner, Isaiah Foskey. You got, I mean, Brian.
Yeah, getting down to that 53 going to be hard.
Man, Brian Bursey too in the mix. it's just that D line is gonna be nasty. And then when you look at it from that D line perspective, right? You got a nasty D line that can get to the quarterback. And then if you go out and you add a Justin Simmons, who's a ball hawk, who had 30 interceptions, man, I feel like, and I might be getting way ahead of myself, but I feel like if they go out and get Justin Simmons, I feel like that's equivalent to the Saints going out Super Bowl year and signing Darren Sharper. That's how I feel about it. Now, I know a lot of people don't like that name, and they don't like to even think about that name, but I'm just talking strictly football.
But what he did off the field is something different. But
right.
That man, he helped us. He had 9 interceptions.
Yep.
Super Bowl season, and that helped us win a lot of games, bro.
Yep.
That helped us win 13 games?
Yep.
Bro. Hey, he was. I think he had like maybe 5 pick sixes. You know, it's crazy, bro.
Eagles game. Yep, I remember it, man. But at the same time, man, I feel like the D line is just gonna be nasty. I feel like they're gonna bring that energy, that swag, and that is definitely right. That's the next thing I did want to talk about, Hakeem, because for me personally, man, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like my patience has run thin with Trevor Penning. Seriously. Like, you go out and draft him. Y'all sit there and compare this man to Kyle Turley. He's a mauler. He's crazy. And then we sit there and we say, oh man, this is the type of offensive alignment we need. We need that type of energy on the O-line. And then next thing you know, this dude gets hurt, has a foot injury, then gets hurt again. And then it's like, now we obviously have our situation on the right, where he has to play now. He has to play because Ramczyk is not going to play this year. So they moved him from left to right. He's learning that side of the field. He wasn't able to do anything on the side that he knew coming out of college. He was left tackle anyway, didn't do nothing at left tackle. They move him to right thinking that maybe we'll give him a different position and he'll do better on that side. He hasn't been doing better on that side. And, the media reports have been, today he gave up 3 sacks. The day before or day after yesterday, he had a solid camp. Or the day after that, or previously before that, they say, oh, man, he gave up another 2 sacks. So in my mind, what I'm thinking is, the one word I'm thinking is inconsistent.
Yeah, you have a guy. You have a guy. Yeah, you have a guy that came in here. We thinking, this guy is going to be all that in a bag of chips. And 3 seasons, this dude, he's been hurt. He's been underachieving at that. And now we done moved him over there, trying to fill Ramczyk's, which he'll never do, fill his shoes. Then your blind spot, you got the rookie. I'm real nervous about our tackles. I'm very nervous about them tackles, man.
Honestly,
very nervous about them tackles. I have a clip.
Yeah. I have
a clip of Chase going against pronounce that name for me, the rookie.
Fuaga.
Fuaga. Okay. Yeah, check this out. Penning held his own on this one, but he's been getting beat down for the rest of the time. Check it out. He looked like a man among boys, bro.
But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. You got him as a rookie, right? He's a rookie left tackle. Okay. Now the dude is a beast. He's really good. Don't get it twisted. He's very good. The problem is, right, is you're going to have some ups and downs with a rookie O-lineman. We all know that. There is no way that we can sit there and say he's going to come out. He ain't going to give up not 1 sack. It's just too much to expect. It's a high expectation, right? But when you think about it, and people that are Saints fans, when the Saints drafted Teron Armstead, it was not all peachy the first couple of games, right? Because when Teron Armstead started, he played against Carolina. I think it was his first game. He played against Carolina. He got killed.
Mm.
And then the second game, they played Tampa Bay. And when I tell you, that's when the coming of Teron Armstead happened, right? And everybody knew who he was. And he built his confidence and his swag. And then he just took off. So with Fuaga, yeah, he might have a game or two where he's getting into NFL mode and kind of figuring out these DNs and just the game in itself. So you gotta take that on the chin, right? But on the flip side of it, you got a guy who's been here on his third year, and the Saints don't know what the hell to do with him. They moved him from left to right. I don't know if he's gonna go to guard. I mean, he's just doing too much. So I feel like what Hakeem brought up in the chat is I feel like he, just like he said, is over for Penning. I just feel like my patience is just running thin with him, man. It's time to figure that out. And next year they need to go out first pick. They need to go draft another right tackle because we cannot. Because the number one thing I'm concerned about this year going into the season is the O-line, is the offensive line. And a lot of people and a lot of commentators are like, oh, Clint Kubiak's offense, it's going to, hide some of the inconsistencies of the O-line because they're doing this, they're doing different screens and things like that. But, man, how long will that last is my question. How long will it last? So that's the biggest thing.
We all thought Trevor Penning, we thought he was going to be the answer, B. But he has underachieved, and he hasn't been what we thought he was,
Yeah.
So I'm nervous with that offensive line also going into the season. I'm nervous about that offensive line.
Yeah. I mean,
very.
The offensive line is it's going to dictate how the season goes. It's going to dictate how many games we win. Because I mean, if you trying to run the ball and the O-line is not being able to block, then we in trouble. And then when you trying to throw the ball and they're not able to protect, Derek Carr gonna get killed like he did last year. So, and I mean, again, I just feel like the Saints could have did a better job filling in the O-line this offseason, and they just didn't. Because they thought that by moving him to right tackle, because let's be real, they knew what was happening with Ramczyk. They knew Ramczyk was hurt. They knew he wasn't going to be able to play. They come in at the end of like closer to the time, and they're like, oh well, we thought he was going to be able to play, but his knee isn't just recovering how we thought it was going to be. Well, if that was the case, you should have put a backup plan in place for that. And I don't feel like they did a good job putting a backup plan in place for that. So if there's one thing that's going to make this team not win as many games as we think they're going to win, it's going to be the O-line.
Yeah.
That's the biggest weakness on the team.
Yeah. And you think about Carr, he was hurt a couple of times. He played through it last year.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we had Ramczyk last year, I mean, like I said, Carl, we might see Rattler sooner than later.
Or
we might need a more mobile guy back there.
Or Hayner. You never know. But yeah, man. I again, that's just my major concern. Like somebody asked me that. I was in a mall and somebody ran into me. They're like, man, what your major concern is? I'm like, O-line. They're like, bro, I knew you was gonna say that. I'm like, the O-line.
The snake. Like Kenny Stabler. Snake.
Oh man, that boy. I mean, speaking of him, since we brought him up, if you want to talk about him, we could jump right into it because I'm excited about him. I ain't gonna lie to you. I like when they took him, and I was like, you know what? Everybody was saying, oh, he said this on this documentary, and he did this and he did that. Listen, people do crazy stuff when they're young. I'm one of them, right? I could sit here and man up to what I did when I was young, but like people change, man. Like nobody is perfect. People change, and so for them to go out there and draft him and take a chance on him, and then now he's in training camp and he's going off. I mean, this dude is going off. He has an arm. He has a real strong arm. And I am super excited to see what he does in the preseason because I'm going to be honest with you. So if he start going crazy in the preseason, you already know once Derek Carr start having a bad game or two, you know people gonna be calling for Rattler to come in the game. So it's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be crazy. And the one thing I think that will be a blessing if it all works out is you always hear people say, so, oh man, we got to draft a first round quarterback. We got to get one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the draft, man. They're going to be the ones to take our team to the next level for many years to come. And then you go out and you get this dude in what, the 5th round? And you get him in the 5th round. He comes in, he's battling his ass off against Jake Kinnear for the backup spot, doing a real good job. And for him to come out, even if worst case scenario, so even if he isn't named the backup quarterback and he's still 3rd string, to have him on the bench learning that playbook in this offense and just getting his game ready for when he is about to come in, I think that's just a blessing in itself, because you didn't have to go out there and give out a 1st round pick for a quarterback. You went out there and gave out a 5th round pick for somebody that could be your future starter and who can take this team to another level.
Say he's got the Mahomes-like tendencies and stuff, you know. So, you know, and he kind of favors him a little bit. You know, he may be a little more pale than Mahomes. But a lot of people that don't know this guy, I mean, this guy broke Arizona, the state of Arizona's high school passing record on his 18th birthday. A lot of people don't know that. Rattler threw for 11,083 yards in 4 years with 116 passing touchdowns. So you have to understand, this guy was number 1 coming out of high school in the country. You know what I'm saying? At quarterback, bro. You know, 1,040 yards rushing, 14 rushing touchdowns. You know, he was named MVP of the Elite 11 at the opening in the Texans, his final season at Pinnacle. You know, this dude was. They even did a Netflix, thing on him. Yeah. that's when he talked too much. Right?
That's the one. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah. You know, so we might have found our franchise quarterback for the future. You know, he was even running with the ones, in training camp, spending time with Carr.
And he got a lot of praise, man. He got a lot of praise from Chris Olave and the receivers. And they're like, man, this dude he got an arm. He got a strong arm. He knows how to place the ball where it needs to be. He doesn't let anything get to him. And one thing I do appreciate about him is they had a video of him at the practice like 2 days ago. And I think he was throwing a ball to Cedric Wilson. And he missed.
I thought you were talking about when he was smoking a cigar.
No. He was throwing a pass to Cedric Wilson, and he missed him on a slant route, and he took accountability for it. And he was like, man, he cursed. He was like, man, fuck. And then he was like, man, my bad. That's my bad. I got you on the next one. Don't worry. I'm gonna be better. And for him to say that as a young guy coming into the NFL, I think that I think that's what you want to see out of a rookie quarterback who can literally take accountability and say, man, I missed you on that pass, but guess what? I'm coming back. Don't worry. I'm gonna get you on the next one. And it's not like a thing where it's like a basketball thing where you like playing basketball with your friends and you're like, man, my bad, bro, my bad. I got you, my bad. And then you do another one, and then another time you do it and you say, my bad. It was just like he did it one time, and then on the next one he just hit him where it needed to be. So I'm excited about Rattler. I'm excited about what he can do. I'm excited about him in the Saints' future. What you want to see is somebody that's going to excel, somebody that you can put in a situation like Green Bay where they have him behind Carr maybe a year, and then next year reevaluate it and say, hey, should we move on from Carr or should we continue or bring him in and let's move him up to the starting position and let's get this thing rolling. So I'm excited about the Saints' future, man. If he pans out to be what we think he's gonna be, I think Saints fans all over the world should be excited where this team is heading for sure.
Yes, indeed. For
sure. Now, a guy that we just talked about, man, that I want to talk about is Chris Olave. He seems like he has a point to prove this year. he's been in training camp going against Paulson Adebo and all of these corners and cursing them out and like just having a different type of energy from him. He's usually quiet. But I don't know, man. I'm excited about him. What do you think? What do you think his stats is going to be this year? So, how many catches and yards do you think Olave's pace for this year?
Bruh, if we can get the protection for Derek Carr, to throw the ball, you look at the highlights. I even have some of Carr's best highlights from, I'll show y'all that if you want to see some of his best highlights. He can get the job done. He's kind of inconsistent, but Olave this year, I think he's going to have a breakout year because he's going to be the number nine. Now, being the number one, you get all the best cornerbacks from the other team. So, it might be, but hey, I think if he stays healthy, he'll have a little better year than he had last year. And I mean, last year he had a great year, him and Wilson with the Jets, them two dudes came out together and both of them, both of them had great seasons.
Yeah. I mean, Wilson had a better year than Olave overall because, the thing about it is when you look at their offense, number one, they didn't have Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. Number two, Garrett Wilson's the best receiver on the team. There was no Mike Thomas or no other.
Like Olave.
Yeah, there was nobody else to really throw the ball to.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. But like you said, he did.
If Aaron wouldn't have got hurt, what kind of year Wilson might have had?
Oh man, I mean, he probably would have went crazy. So I think when you look at it from that perspective, I think he's solid.
About right, Hakeem.
I think, I would probably say that Hakeem about 90 catches, 8 touchdowns. It's not bad. It's not a bad projection, I would say. But he definitely has to step up a little bit more than what he did last year. And they said that
MJ?
They said that Olave built a gym in his house literally 2 weeks after the season. And he's been working out, getting stronger. He wants to be that guy that can go up and get the catch and, rise up for the catch and come down with it. So, I'm looking for a big season out of Chris Olave, man. I really am. It's time to excel. And then also, too, his rookie contract will be. It probably will be.
Hey, believe me, y'all know if Mahomes is there in first round, I'm taking him. Remember that.
So loves Mahomes, bro.
You looking at the 2-time Big Easy back-to-back champion. I don't want to hear that, bro.
Kenny, I got you, bro. Don't worry.
I'm the
Kenny,
man, bro. Back-to-back.
Kenny, he will not be able to say
$4,000 I won over 2 years.
Man, Kenny, he will not be able to say that back-to-back thing this next year.
$2,000 league, baby.
Remember this show. Remember this show, Kenny. He will not be able to say he's 3-time back-to-back.
I already got the back-to-back, baby.
No, I'm talking about 3 times.
I already got the back-to-back.
You ain't gonna have no 3. You ain't having no 3-peat. I can promise you that. We gonna put money on that one. But anyway, listen, if you go Chris Olave first,
you already put money on
it. But man, I'm looking for a big season out of Chris Olave. Outside of that, man, I want to get your take on this, and I want everybody in the chat to really write exactly how you feel about this, because this kind of tripped me out when I seen it. But the NFL does like a ranking of coaches throughout the NFL before the season starts. Typically how they do teams and where they're supposed to be at and where they're gonna fall. They named Dennis Allen the worst coach in the league. Wow. So what's your take on that? Everybody in the chat, also too with you. So what's your take? Do you agree that?
Yes, I agree. When you have a coach that your team just did not respect, you know what I'm saying? Since Jameis did what he did, he has no respect, has no kind of credibility, has no, them guys are going to be playing for themselves. They're going to be playing for Kubiak. They're going to be playing for their position coaches. They're going to be playing for their families, not for Dennis Allen. Trust the plus.
Yeah.
But
So
we want him out of here, bro. But
one of my friends who works at my job, he's a Bucks fan, and he said, "Can I get some Bucks commentary?" So I said, "Hell no." He put a laughing face. He texting me right now, but he always making fun of every time we play the Bucks every year. He always going crazy on me and texting me like, we won and this that. What do you got to say? But going back to what we were talking about, I feel as though that he is definitely on the hot seat. He is definitely on the hot seat. So, and let's be honest, man, if they have a bad year this year, what do you think? Do you think we should let him go, or do you feel like we should give him another chance?
I think we should let him go. If we have a sub, 7-10 or whatever it is, we can't do it. But when he always gets saved, because at the end of the year we might go on a 2-game winning streak, and just like last year, we barely had a winning season, but we had a winning season, and guess what? Dennis Allen was saved, and it's like that all the time,
right?
But hey, I think he's on the hot seat. I think Miss Benson is hearing, Nikki Loomis is hearing too much negativity. They don't want to lose the fan base. They don't want to lose, and have that dome empty. So DA has got to produce this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He has to produce. It's time. It's not like he hasn't been around the organization for a long time. Obviously, he's been a head coach, but he hasn't done anything as a head coach in general with his time with the Raiders, which you really can't judge him off of that because the Raiders were just the Raiders and they sucked at the time. But as a Saints coach, he hasn't really done anything. So he definitely needs to prove something this year. I think if they do go into the playoffs this year, I think he'll be secure for another year. But if they don't make it, man, they need to go ahead and just make Clint Kubiak the head coach moving forward. Because I feel like him with that new energy, that new swag, that new offense, just bringing that new. I feel like if you sign Clint Kubiak as a head coach, I feel like he just reminds me of Mike McDaniel with the Dolphins, right? A young guy, got a lot of energy that can, bring some different schemes to the offense, but also to a guy that is following his dad's footsteps and wants to be successful just like his dad was as a head coach. So I think that if Dennis Allen doesn't do his thing this year, I feel like it's going to be they're going to have a lot you're going to have a lot of Saints fans on in Metairie with signs saying fire DA. I can promise you that. I promise you that. We all know how this Saints fan base is. So
we just, Nathan, you know what? The Saints fans are just dealing with him. We trying not to think about DA and just think about the other positives on the team.
Right.
Alvin being healthy back. You know what I'm saying? We trying to trust and have faith in Derek Carr. To just
is a lot, which is saying a lot. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's saying a lot. But to your point, let's be real, right? Let's call a spade a spade. Derek Carr finished the year on a good note. He finished the year on a good note. So it's not that he cannot play well. We know he has the ability to play well. It's just that he has to play well consistently. Right. When you look at all the quarterbacks in the league right now, in the last 5 years, Derek Carr has the most interceptions. He's number one. He has the most interceptions out of all the quarterbacks that are starting in the league right now. So the turnovers have to go down. You have to play a little bit more consistent, right? To his part, right? To give him, I can't just be all the way like hard on him because let's be real. He had injury after injury after injury last year. So for a guy that had a ribs issue, the back issue, all of this issue, right? Like it's hard. It's hard to play. It's hard to play when you hurt. A lot of us think that, oh man, get your ass out there. We need you to play. It doesn't matter what the injury is. But let's be real. If you watch the Receivers show on Netflix and you see the injuries, Justin Jefferson was hurt. He tried his best to come back. He came back, got hurt again, and try to do it again. It's just, you just never know, man. So the injury thing is it derails you. But also too, when he was not hurt and he was at least 80 to 90% healthy, he had a decent ending to the year. He had a
last year. Let me tell you, man, we had the good, we had the bad, and we had the ugly.
Yep.
You know, we had the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I'm gonna show y'all some of the good. Let's see if I can find this video. Let me show you right quick.
And Irving in, Carr back. Lofting one, he's got a man, Johnson wide open, tumbling, and he held on. Oh, back in the game with a big play, and Johnson's got 32.
Tyson in trouble, and the ball comes out. Bajan fumbles, it's still loose. Werner scoops it up for the Saints.
Carr to throw. Wants to go deep. He's got Shaheed out there. He's got it. And Shaheed in for the touchdown. 58 yards to give New Orleans the lead.
And they got to finish the game.
3rd and 13. They'll bring pressure. Carr airing it out. Shaheed down the sideline. He's got it. Dropped it into the bucket. And Carr and Shaheed hook up again for a giant play.
9th play of the drive for the Saints. Carr, near side.
Wow.
Olave. What a catch.
Keep Prentice in for pass protection. Panthers rush 5. Carr steps up and delivers downfield. Get him a 50-50 ball. What a catch by Olave. Battling Von Bell all the way down the sidelines.
We're young so far today. They need to get back to the outside. This ball is blocked, and it will be taken in for a touchdown. DeMarco Jackson scoops it up and scores. Punt fielded at the 24 by Shaheed. Shaheed across midfield. Shaheed is going to take this all the way for a Saints touchdown. 76 yards.
Pressure coming. Launches for Olave. He came down with it, and it's ruled a touchdown. A sign of life from the Saints. Carr looking deep, and it is juggled and caught. Touchdown, Olave! What a play!
Olave is a beast, bro.
Bro, Olave's listen. That play, I'm gonna tell you this. That play against Atlanta, I was at that game. That play was nuts. That play was crazy. But the one against Carolina where he caught it on the sideline with the one-hand catch, that one was dope because that was on Monday Night Football.
He has such good concentration, bro.
Yes. You know, bro, he's a beast. And then you got Shaheed, man, doing this thing. Jawan Johnson catching that pass on the first one against Tampa Bay. Shout out to Kevin. Kevin, you see that? He caught it on your team. But man, just overall, when you look at last year's highlights, there's a lot of potential from this team. But also, too, I want to go back to the comment that Hemisphere brought up about, there's not a lot of things to be excited about, or, he's not looking forward to a lot of stuff because there's not a lot of things happening in training camp right now. Honestly, man, I would rather it be like this, to be honest. I want to be under the radar. I want to kind of be that team that people be like, you know what, man, we're gonna run over the Saints, and then they come in and then we bust their ass. I like that. I don't like to be where it's like the Saints are gonna go to the Super Bowl this year, guys. We're projected, and then on NFL Network, it's all these teams picking the Saints, and then next thing you know, we getting our ass whipped. So let us just keep it the way it is. Stay under the radar. Let them rank us at 20, 22, or 19 or 18 for the year going into the year. And I'm cool with that. I am fine with that.
I just want to say one thing, Nada.
Yeah.
To all the squirrels out there, let me tell you this. I hate when people tell me, oh, it's okay. It's just preseason. When we go 0-4 or 1-3 in preseason, I don't give a shit. I want to win. Whether it's they playing a game of cards against the other team, I want my team to win. It gives motivation. It makes them feel better going into the next game, going into the season. I don't care. It gives camaraderie. It gives them fired up, bro. I don't want to hear that bullshit. Oh, it's just a preseason. That's all right. I want to win everything, bro. I want to win everything. Just like we can win, just like when we lose, the other team can lose too. So why can't they lose instead of us? It's okay. It's always okay when we lose.
Well, listen,
you know what I'm saying? I'm tired of hearing people say that. Squirrels out there.
When you have a team, right? When you have a team, you got to have some building blocks, right? And for you to win, that continues to build the blocks and shaping out how your team's going to be, right? But also, too, it builds confidence in players. You know, it builds their confidence,
everything.
The camaraderie, the team camaraderie. Now you got people wanting to help each other. They're doing stuff outside of the facility, inside of the facility. They're doing everything that they could do to be better and continue to grow. And that's what it is, right? It's all about growth. It's all about maturing. It's all about building confidence. Because guess what? You can't climb a ladder with one step. You got to take steps to get to the top, right? And so with that being said, they just, by winning, they continue to take those steps that they need to get to the top. And that's all it's about, right? It's all about that. Now, will there be some times where you have some rough times and they might lose 2 games in a row, 3 games in a row, and then bounce back? Absolutely. But guess what? That's part of growing. You're not going to win all the time, right? There's only one team in NFL history that won all 8 games. One. How long has the NFL been around? 50-some years?
You're right. Hey, Tom Brady tried to do it and lost the main game.
There's only one team that has done it.
1972.
Right.
72 Miami Dolphins.
So listen, you're gonna have some ups, you're gonna have some downs, right? Even won a Super Bowl team. When the Saints won a Super Bowl, they lost their last 3 games of the season. They lost the last 3 games of the season. So, you know, that Cowboys game, DeMarcus Ware went crazy. The Tampa game, they lost. So, like, they lost their last 3 games. So, again, just continue to be patient. Continue to, you know, just be positive, right? You don't get anything out of being negative. You just don't. All it does is messes your brain up. So there's no reason to be negative. Just look at the positives. Listen, if the Saints win 10 games this year, they make the playoffs and they don't go anywhere, okay, it was a positive season, right? Now, next year, build upon that, right? If they go ahead and win the Super Bowl in New Orleans, listen, we all going to go crazy. We all going to be all over the place at parades and doing all kind of crazy stuff. But, again, just stay positive. It's football season, and I'm excited, man. Listen, I'm a big football guy. Soul's a big football guy. I know everybody in here that's watching and commenting is big, you know, sports guys, or sports people. Shout out to
question.
Steve, to all the women that watch our show.
Haven't been signed yet, and I think that's because of his attitude, all the off the field antics, you know, and his injury status. The dude just, you know, I mean, can't stay healthy no more, you know. So I think they look at that and he's getting older.
He burned his bridge. He burnt his bridge with the Saints, man. He was tweeting about Dennis Allen and going crazy on the team last year. And that's unfortunate because, you know, even with letting them go in this position that they're in right now, they have 3 or 4 receivers that's hurt. It would have been nice to bring him back. And he knows, well, he doesn't know the playbook now, but, you know, he knows the team, he knows the players and stuff. So it would have been nice to bring him back, but man, he just did.
Ignorant guy. What's that little ignorant dude that played for Tampa? Came from Pittsburgh. He's good on the field, but he does the same thing. Talk.
Antonio Brown.
And off the field antics. On the field antics with him too.
Yep. Now, Zach, can you pull up Zach's comment real quick, so? Because Zach posted. He put, I hear you, Nader, 100% on the building blocks, just with Dennis Allen. I don't know what's the guy ever built other than L's. Well, listen, if he continues to build L's this year, Zach, man, I'd rather you have you as the head coach than to have Dennis Allen as the head coach. But listen, we got to give it one more year, and then from there we could kind of, you know, look at the big picture of things, because, you know, the number one thing that's going to happen if he does have a bad season, the one excuse that he probably would use for himself if he's sitting in the office and trying to defend himself is, oh, well, I got a new offensive coordinator and I'm running a new offense and I don't know this and so listen, you got to show up, man. They brought a new offensive coordinator. The team is trying to win. You got to win. It's put up or shut up time. Enough is enough. That we're not used to this team being average for 3 years or 4 years in a row. It's either, hey, if we have a bad year, okay, cool. We'll bounce back next year, make the playoffs and figure it out. But we've been having some rough years. So now we gotta start taking this thing to the next level for sure.
Exactly.
Is Kendre Miller a cut candidate? Availability is the major ability, right? So if you're not available, man, I don't know. And they said that the backup, the third string guy, Mims, he's been going off. So he might be taking Kendre's spot. So I don't think they'll cut him. I just feel they'll wait for him to get himself back ready, but because they invested a pick in him, but he has to start doing something. As you could tell when Dennis Allen talked about him at his press conference, he was very adamant. This guy needs to stop being hurt. He needs to find a way to not be hurt because our patience is running thin with him. So Kendre better get healthy pretty quick. Pretty quick. So let me ask you this: what's your take? What's your guys' take on this Saturday's game at the Cardinals, first preseason game, 7:00? What are some things that you're looking forward to, Soul, and seeing?
I want to see. I don't necessarily think the starters should play first preseason game. I just want to see some of these rookies. I wanted to see Mason Tipton, but obviously he might not play because he's hurt. I want to see Kool-Aid. I want to see some of these guys we have in here that came in a couple of our draft picks. I just want to see how they do, especially our left tackle. So I'm gonna be watching all these guys individually, watching these guys to see how they match up against another team.
Yeah, and the big thing is what you said, right? And we talked about our biggest concern going into the season is the O-line. That's the number one thing I want to see, man, is the O-line. I want to see how they're gonna maneuver themselves. I want to see, the guys that are supposed to start when they're out there on the first drive, 2 drives, or however much they're gonna play. I want to see if they're getting, if they're getting somewhere with it, right? Or if their blocking is solid, or is it just practice where they're having issues with? So that's number one. Number two, I want to see how the wide receivers that we brought in, how they're gonna pan out, because you got, Samson Nakua, which is Puka's brother. I want to see if he has that type of swag and play that his brother has.
If he's from that same cloth, you know.
So if he's able to bring that same juice that his brother brought to the Rams last year, man, that's gonna be a
the main thing I want to see is Spencer Rattler and Hainer.
Yeah, absolutely. When is the last time we could say there was a real quarterback battle at number 2? Right?
Jameson and Taysom, I guess, behind Breeze.
Oh, Lord, that was what, 3 years ago?
Right.
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. So, but I mean, I think I feel kind of bad for Jake Haener because a lot of people are kind of overlooking him a little bit, and they're like, man, they're on the hype train with Spencer Rattler, and I mean, to be honest, you can't really be mad at them for being this way, but. Listen, a lot of people are saying Jake Haener is balling out too, so give him a chance too.
We will be there.
Yes, we will be at Tulane Stadium, the practice. We definitely will be there, Julie. So if you see us and you run into us, please come say hi for sure. But yeah, me and Soul will definitely be at Tulane. When is it? The 20th, you said?
Yeah, the 20th and the 23rd. The 23rd, you say you're not gonna make because that's Friday.
That's on a Friday, but the
20th, the Tuesday night, you'll be able to make.
Yeah, I'll be at that one for sure. If guys say the same, I'll be there for sure.
So we probably gonna have to tell it like it is to Wednesday just for that day.
Yeah,
because we didn't move to Tuesday. So
So if any of y'all going to Tulane, man, and y'all see me in Seoul, and we ain't hard to find, come say hi, come say hi and come holler at us when you see us, man. Other than that, so any other things you want to see in this preseason game?
Yeah, I want to see DA with a little bit more, being a little bit more manly on that sideline, getting on people, trying to get some respect from these players, man.
Bro, when you said manly, I thought about him pushing his luggage into the stadium and walking. Bro, you crazy,
bro? Yeah, DA just Oh man. But yeah, I want to see the D. I hope your boy Willie Gay plays a little bit, maybe a series or two.
Mm-hmm.
They say he's flying in camp, so I want to see him. And basically I want to win the game. I want to win the game. You have to remember we're going up against Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yes, sir.
So he's gonna probably get some snaps because he's a rookie. But that's they number one guy.
Mm-hmm.
They number one guy. So
another guy, and Hakeem brought it up too, is the tight end Holker, man, that they got.
Yeah.
He's definitely gonna be something. He's gonna bring some damage, and I think he really has a good chance to play with Jawan Johnson coming back from that injury. So that's gonna be one to definitely keep an eye on in the preseason, because Holker is definitely a guy who can catch the ball, he can block, he can do some different things. So I do like that, Hakeem. That's one guy that we even forgot to even write down in our notes, but that is a good one for sure. Yeah, that is a good one. So definitely watch out for Holker at tight end, because he definitely has opportunity to play this year for sure. Definitely has it. Now, another thing I'm excited about before we get off, obviously the Super Bowl is in New Orleans this upcoming year. So I know me and you will probably be at, the just everywhere, right? The NFL experience at the convention center and all the parties and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we'll be in the building in a lot of spots. But, one thing I'm going to try to do, Sol, is I'm going to try to see if we can get our show to broadcast live at the convention center. So I'm working on that for us. That would be dope, especially for all the fans that are coming out here for the Super Bowl. Anybody that watches our show and y'all going to be down here for the Super Bowl, we're going to try to be at the convention center. That way you guys can come up. We can even do like a panel and, get the mic moving around the audience and get some comments. So y'all stay tuned for that, man. We working on some big things for the Super Bowl. But I'm excited about the Super Bowl. Hopefully we're in the Super Bowl. That'd be awesome too. That's gonna bring a different energy and vibe to the city. That's gonna be nuts. But
that's gonna be nuts. Yeah.
But outside of that, man,
I just want to say a couple of things. I just want to tell people about my cruise. We have double the people we had last year, so it's getting bigger and better every year. That's some of my performers for our big 2-hour concert that we have. Jay the Wizard, he did a couple of songs with me. Y'all know Chopper. That's my headliner. He ends the show, and man, it was awesome last year. We was on the Mardi Gras out of Port Canaveral, and it was awesome. I got my boy Tony Fredericks back. He opens up. He's like my host. He opens up with comedy. He's an actor. And then, you got my boy MJ Anola, Michael Jackson, doing his thing. So, it's going to be real nice. Yep. Also, I want to tell people about Michael Jackson, Anola, and the Dangerous Crew next Friday, August 16th, not tomorrow, next Friday. Tickets are on sale at Ticketmaster. Get your tickets and come see this great 2-hour show, 2-hour plus show. All the songs, all your favorites from Michael Jackson, all your favorite tunes, songs. It's going to be a great concert. We even got a special guest that's going to be up there for the intermission. So we do an hour, then we have an intermission where you go, because we don't want you to miss nothing. So we have an intermission, let you go get your food, get your drink on, go use the bathroom, whatever you need to go take a smoke outside, whatever you need to do. And then we come back with the second half of the show. So it's going to be awesome. Like I say, tickets on Ticketmaster. If you live close in New Orleans, you can get tickets from me. So telling you about that. That's going to be an awesome show. And look, fantasy. Anybody interested? I got a few spots open. If you're interested in fantasy football, if you have any knowledge or any kind of, you're looking at champions right here with me and Nada. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at fantasy football champions. I can show you all the trophies I have up in here and all the money I've cashed in on. You know what I'm saying? My bank accounts is fat because of fantasy. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, if y'all interested, we want you. Hey, call, DM me. Let me know fantasy football, man.
I'm excited.
I got the spots open.
I'm excited about that, boy. I'm excited to be back in the fantasy thing.
Let me tell you, Nada won, and me and Nada was in the end. Didn't we play in the championship? And you beat me?
Yeah.
Yeah, he beat me. So the next year, Nada he took a rest, and I won back to back. Is that how it went? Yeah, I won back to back.
Yeah.
So now he's back. So he's gonna come back and try to claim his title.
And I know Kenny keep writing in here talking about fantasy.
Kenny always writing something.
Kenny, I'm back, bro. So you better be ready for that draft.
Kenny, you know who Kenny's like? Dak Prescott. He does good in the regular season. Then when he get to the playoffs, bro, he gone in the first round.
He always talking about you got lucky. He always say that. No matter who wins, he say you
lucky
got
2 years straight. Yeah,
That's
I
crazy.
got lucky 2 years straight. Right. But we're gonna be back with our picks. Me, Nada, Hakeem, Tanner Hill. We're gonna be back with our picks. We're gonna be doing our picks every week. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, man. Listen, I'm glad to be back, man. It was refreshing, man, to do the show tonight. It was good to see everybody in the chat, everybody commenting, man. We appreciate y'all as always. We're gonna be back, on Thursdays, new day. So Thursday, we're gonna be keeping it moving forward on Thursdays. But man, if y'all have any questions or y'all have anything y'all want to talk about, you can always send me and Sol a DM. We can always talk about it or bring it up on the show as well, because obviously we want y'all feedback. Not only because of the show or how the show is, but just on sports topics or anything you want to get off your chest as far as Saints, you can always DM us and we'll always bring it up on the show. But yeah, man, glad to be back. We'll be at Tulane Stadium on the 20th, talking Saints and and seeing everybody. What's up?
One more thing. My little girl, my dog, I have a Yorkie Poo. She had some puppies. She had 6 puppies, and I have 1 left. So, kind of maybe 2, but I think one guy left a deposit, and I've been having a deposit for like 3 weeks. He said he was gonna pick them up, but this is my puppies. I just want to show y'all. It's the puppies. So if y'all interested, DM me on this.
So, guys.
Come here, boy. Come here. He's your man. He's your man. Yeah, he's your man. Here you go. My baby. You're your baby. Yeah. And my do.
Real quick before we get off. So I'm not a pet person, right? So, and it's not that I have nothing against pets or anything. It's just I'm just not a pet person, right? So so my wife and my son, they convinced me to get a cat, and I was like, man, I don't know if I should get a cat. I should know if I should get a cat. Right? So I ended up getting a cat, and the cat is a Bengal cat. So this is how the cat looks. So
a Bengal.
Look how it stripes out.
Oh Lord, that's a scary cat. All right.
Yeah, so I got a Bengal cat now. So now I'm a pet owner.
Man.
So I'm like you. So I got pets too. Now I got one. So I got one. But anyway, man, listen, appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. We'll be back next Thursday. again, DM us if you have any questions or need anything as far as Saints or whatever. And then again, man, holla at Soul Saints Cruise. Next Friday, you got MJ at the Fillmore. Make sure y'all in the building. And make sure Thursday you in the building for Sports Overtime, right? So we'll see everybody next week, man. Shout out to everybody. Steve, Charla, Whitley, Ron, everybody, man. Hakeem.
Everybody.
Yeah, man.
See
Shout out to everybody.
I noticed I didn't see one person that's usually on that night, and that's my girl. She's a new super fan. Who that cutie? Glow wasn't on here tonight, so we didn't see her. So I hope she okay. You know, but everybody else, hey, thank y'all for coming on. We love y'all. And look, I just want to let y'all know we do not own the rights because they've been zapping our StreamYard with the music. We do not own the rights to this music that I'm about to go out with. We do not own the rights to this music, okay? All right. So we good. See y'all later. See y'all next time.
Peace.
What's the name of this song?